Hello, and welcome back. So today I want to debunk a few health and fitness myths and go through some of them and show you how it can help you on your journey, whether your journey is to quit sugar, whether your journey is to lose weight, or your journey is to gain more muscle, or become fitter. Anything that your goal is, by learning how to debunk some myths and making sure that we're on the right path. That is how we are going to be able to keep moving forward and stick to it. So I have lots of people coming to me and they'll just say things like, just show me how to do it. Just give me the plan and I'll be able to follow it. And just give me the recipe pack, just give me the workout, just tell me what to do and I'll follow it to a T. And all of that is fine, but the problem with this is you take you wherever you go. So until we start addressing the things that have caused you to get where you are, you're still going to pretty much stay the same. So today I want to talk about the myths that show up when we are talking about health and fitness, and how we can look at these and look at these new points differently, from a different perspective. I want you guys to start working smarter and not harder. And so often people think that they just need to work more and more in order to get a result. And that, they think that they correlate how hard they work with the result. And they think, well, the more effort that they put in, that would therefore mean that they would get a better result. So if I'm putting in a lot of effort, then I therefore should be getting a lot of results because I'm putting in all this effort. But I want to show you today that this isn't actually how it works, and how it doesn't actually correlate, and it's so not the case, and things can be done a lot differently. So what if I told you to go outside and to dig a big hole? Now you could go outside and you could get a shovel and you could start digging this hole. So we're going to dig a hole to start put a pool in the backyard. So you could go outside and you could dig a shovel and you could dig a big hole. And it's going to take you a long time to dig this hole to be as deep that it's going to fit a pool in it. We keep digging and we're digging, and it's going to take a lot of effort. But after a few weeks, we get there. We get there and we've created this big hole. Or I could ask someone else to do the same thing, and instead of going out and digging the hole, they choose to go and hire an excavator. So they go and hire this machine that's going to help them dig this hole. And so then they go and they dig the hole and they get the same result, but it takes them a day. Okay, so these two people got exactly the same result, but they got it in very, very different ways. Now, one person put in a lot of effort to get the result, while the other person didn't, but they actually still got the same result. So if you're putting in all your effort in the wrong places, then you will not get the results that you want. And we want to spend our time and our resources all on the right thing. We don't want to be wasting our time. And so this comes to the kind of 80-20 principle. So then when they say 20% of your actions that you're taking is actually going to get you 80% of the results. And a lot of us are working the opposite way, and we are spending our time and our energy on 80% of the tasks and only getting 20% of the result. So I want to show you that by the end of today, that you can be spending 20% of your time focused on these things. If you could spend 20% of your time and focus on these things, how valuable would that be to you? If you're only getting a small result, it sets you up where in a little battle and thinking that in order to get better results, I just need to start working harder. It's going to take me more energy and it's going to be way less fun. And then we start doubting ourselves and we start asking ourselves questions. Do I really want to do this? This is not enjoyable. Really, what do I actually enjoy in life? And then we feel like we have to pick between fun and enjoyment, and getting the result we want. And then we have this constant battle of, well, to get the result I want, it's not fun and it has to be hard, or I could have fun. I could have fun and not get that result. And this subconscious battle happens for us all the time. And, you know, it's the same thing. I've had people say to me, you know, I want to eat the cake, but if I eat this cake, I'm not going to get the result. But I want to show you that this is not the case. It is not the case at all. And it's not an either or, but there is a way that we can overlap the two. And some actions that we start taking, they're really effective and they're also enjoyable. And this is this sweet spot. So this is the sweet spot that we're all looking for. And I'm going to help you find it. So I want you all to find and live exactly where we can start taking action that's actually enjoyable and it's also effective. Have you ever said before, or I've heard this a few times, people say to me, well, I can be fat and happy, or I can be skinny and miserable. And we don't want to be either. And it's so not the case at all. There has to be another option. And it's not this one or the other. It's just not the case. And so this other option is what we're going to talk today. So as I've worked with so many different women throughout the years that I've been a trainer, over the last 10 years actually, I've seen so many different type of women come up with different approaches of how they want to go through things. And today I want to go through some of the approaches so we can see where you're at. Now I generally find there's kind of four different main approaches that I see most people taking. I want you to think which approach you would think that you would be under. So when we've done certain things in the past, we've tried different diets or different things, and you know, it is calorie counting, you know, lettuce diets. I remember there was a cabbage diet for a while, you know, 800 calories, you know, paleo, keto, whatever, fit in 30, intermittent fasting. You've tried all of those. You may have tried one of those things, and then you find that it doesn't work for you. And you think, well, all diets don't work. And it's because a lot of diets are so generic. Someone's decided that this diet works and they think that it should work for everybody. Someone, you know, they've decided, well, this will work. They lost weight and then you'll get a result in. And then everybody just starts following this same diet around, because they've heard that other people have been doing it. I had someone come to me the other day and they said, well, my friend's lost weight this way, I'm going to do the same as her. And I was like, you can't. We don't know any of the variables. So don't just jump onto something because you've seen that somebody else has got a result from it. And it's really silly to start thinking that that the same thing is going to work for everybody. Because it doesn't. A plan has to really be customized to you and where you're at. Take in your circumstances, where what's going on in your life, what's previously happened in your life, where have you previously been. So all of these factors need to be taken into place, not just being given a plan and being told to follow it. Obviously, a customized plan is going to be a lot more effective than what a generic one is. The same as if you have a custom outfit made, you've been measured and it's been tailored to suit your size, is going to fit you a lot better than when you just buy an outfit off the rack in the store. On the other axis, we have to look at how you start making decisions in your journey. And really, a health and fitness journey is all about decisions. So it's all about these decisions that we're making. The thing is, people feel if you make the wrong decision, then you risk wasting time and in a worse position of what you were than when you started. But then how do you know that you're making the right decision? The thing to understand is when we are having intense emotions, when our stress is heightened, it tends to lead to rash decisions. And what do you think happens to you on your fitness journey if you are making emotional decisions? You typically don't get a very good result, because we're in that emotional and we're We're making choices based on the emotion that we're feeling at the time. But what about if we strip away all that emotion and we make data-driven decisions? And that's what I really want for you, is to start making these data-driven decisions instead of using our emotions. Because generally when we're quite emotional, we generally aren't gonna sometimes make the best decisions for us. So as I said before, there's 4 very different type of women, and I have obviously noticed them throughout all the years that I've been training, and they all have a very different approach to their goals. So, and how they make these decisions, and they all can get a very different, and the way you make decisions can cause you to get a different result. So by the end of this training, you should know which quarter that you kind of fit into, so you can make an informed decision that works best for you. And remember, the way that you have showed up in the past and gotten the results isn't necessarily the way that you need to show up to get the results this time, because we need to, in order to get something different or to do something different, we need to be different. We can't do the same thing that we did previously, because if that thing worked, we would still be doing it. Okay, so we need to come with it and take a different approach. Okay, so the first type of dieter that I'm going to go through today is called the yo-yo dieter. So this yo-yo dieter generally follows a generic cookie cutter diet. They're going to make wild emotional decisions as they go through the process. The yo-yo dieter, they do see some results for a little while. The yo-yo dieter doesn't seem to struggle with losing weight, but they do struggle with keeping it off. So for the yo-yo dieter, they'll struggle being really good, say, during the week, and then they'll blow out on the weekend. And it's this back and forth that they continually have going. Maybe the yo-yo dieter is somebody that needs to jump from like challenge to challenge to challenge, because they can't seem to find the thing that works for them to actually keep it off. And they have very huge extremes. So they might lose 20 kilos, but then they'll put 25 kilos back on. Now, does this seem to resonate with you? Let me know if you feel that you are a yo-yo dieter. So the next one in the quadrant that I'm going to explain is called a diet hopper. And this is for women who follow a generic kind of one-size-fits-all plan. But on some level, she's making data-driven decisions. The problem with this is that she's making decisions about whether to stick to something or whether to leave. She's making these decisions based on if the results are happening fast enough. So our diet hopper will start a diet, and then the moment that she thinks that the scales aren't moving quickly enough, she will then jump ship and she'll go and try something else. Okay, so before I go into the next 2 quadrants, I am going to talk about a few common myths that there are about losing weight or health and fitness that I find that come to me often, and I hear them often and often again. And now I do want to clarify that when I talk, I say losing weight, and I do say losing weight a lot. And but I use losing weight because that is what most people come to me and ask me for. But I know lots of people have other goals, and not losing weight is not their only goal. I've had people that have come with me to put on muscle, to increase their energy, to feel better, to, just to look at fixing up their diet, change hormones, all of those other things. So I know there is more than just losing weight. But when I say losing weight, and if you have a different goal, please insert your goal into there. I just use that because that is what is most commonly asked of me. So the most common one of the most common things that people say to me is that losing weight is all about finding the right diet. So really, why don't diets work? So firstly, when we're going to talk about this, I want to get onto my definition of what an actual diet is, so then we are clear on, we're all on the same page. So when I say the word diet, I mean rules and a lifestyle that are created for someone else that you try to fit within your life. So it's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. All right. So we wonder why it doesn't fit. It's because it's not designed for us. And So diets, they tend to come with all these rules. So, you know, you have to eat at this time. You can't have carbohydrates. You have to cut this food out. You can't have sugar. You can't eat fat. You can only eat fats. You can't have grains. They tend to have these rules and these guidelines that you have to stick by, and that's the only way that you're going to get the result, is if you stick by these rules. And then when people, they have these rules and you feel like you have to stick to them, and then when it doesn't work, people then start blaming themselves because they think that they're the problem, because why couldn't they just stick to these rules? Why can't you just work a little bit harder or have some more willpower in order to get the result? And you start thinking that you are the problem. And then you get other people that they're rule followers. So they're like, look, rules, I can stick to them. You give me a plan and I'll stick to that to a T. But then there's still a problem with this, because what happens when it stops working? Because there is going to be a time that you're going to have a plateau. And there is going to be time when you've been following the rules and you've followed them to a T, but it doesn't work for you because the plan is not customized to where you're at. And, you know, and then when it doesn't work, what do you do? What do you then do? It's not working, and you've followed the rules, and you've been told if you follow these rules, this will give you the exact result. So there's a problem either way. There's a problem either way that you do it. And it's not the diet. It's not about that the diet is the right diet. It's rather what's the most effective and enjoyable for me. And that's what we've got to find. It has to really be customized to you so that it will work and you'll be able to stick to it, because what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. And that we need to work out this overlap of where we can have the things that we enjoy, and we can also be working towards the results that we really, really want. And in order to do this, we want to really understand the difference between what a belief is and the science of it, and what actually does cause fat loss. So now in nutrition, there is a hierarchy of nutrition, and we're going to go over that right now. Okay, so in this hierarchy, we want to understand the hierarchy of nutrition. So in the first quadrant, you are going to see calories. So we've all heard it before, calories in versus calories out. And, and too many calories can cause weight gain. Too little calories will cause weight loss. Now, we all know this. So this is generally what is on the bottom of the quadrant. The next level up is going to be macronutrients. So here on the macronutrients, we want to understand the difference between macronutrients and calories. Now, obviously, calories in versus calorie out is going to cause us to have weight loss or weight gain. But when it comes to your macronutrients, when we are following our macronutrients and we are looking more closely at them, this is going to determine where your weight loss actually comes from. So the scale going up and down will be influenced by your calories, but what is causing the scale and up to go up and down is going to be influenced by your macronutrients. So we want to understand, or we want to see that we are losing fat or we are gaining fat. We want to see, are we losing water or are we gaining water? Are we losing muscle or are we gaining muscle? So when you start understanding your macronutrients, they're going to help influence your body composition. So your body composition is, it is part of your fat, your muscle, your water. So your body composition influences all of those things. And when we talk about weight loss, most people are wanting fat loss, okay? So when you understand your macronutrients, we want the loss to come from fat. Now, the next level up is micronutrients. So micro meaning things that we need in small amounts. So macronutrients is things that we need in large amounts. Okay, so the next quadrant is your micronutrients. And these are small nutrients that we all need in order to promote our health and to live that, fulfilling life with lots of energy that we all really want to. So this is your vitamins and your minerals and those types of things. They're your micronutrients, so it's what your body needs in small amounts. Now, I want you to notice as we start stepping away from this, these things that we need less and less. So the next level up is meal timing and frequency. So when are you eating meals, and how often are you doing so? That's the next level up. And again, as I said before, as we're getting higher up on the chart, these things seem to matter less and less. So where are you focusing your energy? Are we focusing it on our vitamins and meal timing and eating in a small window, or are we focusing more on the calories and the macronutrients? The last one on the chart is supplements. And these are things that you can add to your diet to enhance or add to your nutrition. But in reality, the supplements that you are taking matter very little for changes in your body composition. So again, we see by looking at this chart that the things at the very top are the things that we don't need to focus on as much. So if you are focusing your energy on these things up here, are you spending your energy the right way, where we could focus it a little bit more on your macronutrients and the calories, and you would be spending your energy in there, and I guarantee you that you would get a better result than whether you're spending your energy and your time focusing on supplements. So what we've just kind of described is the next kind of quadrant. The third quadrant is the macro dieter. So the macro dieter is somebody who starts counting macros. They feel that they have to hit these things exactly. And when they don't hit them exactly, that means that they have failed. So they have an understanding of the macros. They've been able to look at it, being able to understand it and do it. But they feel that if they don't hit it, then they've suddenly failed. And then they give up. So they either give up, or they think it doesn't work, or they then have days that they don't track because they're scared of the result or scared of what that's going to say. And it's really natural if you are in this category. Please, there's nothing wrong with this. Do not feel bad. It is really natural to feel this way because it's what people have done in the past with diets, with thinking that these rules and things that we have to fit into. And it's really not your fault. But the macro dieter is another person that I see come quite a lot. Okay, so we're filling this quadrant. So the last one is called the balanced macroer. So this is somebody who is able to customize her plan. They're going to understand how much protein, fats, and carbs that she needs for where she is at and what her goals is, what she's looking to achieve. She understands how to adjust them and to suit her. And she's able to adjust them from feedback from her body. So she understands that there is a roller coaster of emotions and there's lots of up and downs, but she doesn't act irrationally. She is able to make an informed choice and believes in herself. Now that you can see all the four quadrants, I want you to look at them all and think, where do you think that you actually fit in? Where do you fit in where you're currently at in your situation? And where would you like to fit in this quadrant? Which quadrant would you like to be in if you are not already in the one that you want to be in? Could you be the balanced macroer who understands her food and makes choices on what works for her, who doesn't feel guilty for eating something? She listens to her body and exercises accordingly. She feels good about herself and is able to listen to her body's cues and adjust things accordingly. Can you be that balanced macro? Where do you think that you actually fit in? Where do you fit in where you're currently at in your situation? And where would you like to fit in this quadrant? Which quadrant would you like to be in if you are not already in the one that you want to be in? Could you be the balanced macroer who understands her food and makes choices on what works for her, who doesn't feel guilty for eating something? She listens to her body and exercises accordingly. She feels good about herself and is able to listen to her body's cues and adjust things accordingly. Can you be that balanced macroer? So we're going to go back to some of these myths and these rules that we seem to have around a diet. And the thing that I think is really important to understand is the rules, the actual rules don't inherently create the change in your body. What they actually do is they tend to bypass the things that's causing you to eat more calories. And they bypass, I guess, the environment or the thing that's actually causing you to create the calories. And so, you know, cutting sugar doesn't cause weight loss. So the sugar that you're cutting out doesn't cause the weight loss. It's when you reduce the sugar or cut out the sugar, you tend to eat less calories, and that will then cause the weight loss. So it's not the sugar alone. When we say to eat clean, so when we're eating clean foods, that clean foods don't create the weight loss. It's eating the cleaner foods that will cause you to reduce your calories, and therefore you will have weight loss. So it's really important to differentiate the tool between the tool and the rule, and to what you're actually so you can actually make sure that you're creating the right change in your body. So I hear you say, so why don't we just count calories then? Why don't I just count calories if calories is the thing that's going to give me weight loss? So, and again, this is what we spoke about before, is understanding the difference between weight loss and fat loss. So if you want to, so weight loss can come from, I've got long hair, I could cut my hair and I would weigh less. I could go to the toilet and have a bowel movement and I could weigh less. Okay, I could not drink as much water and I could weigh less. I could be hormonal and I could weigh more, but I haven't lost any fat in those circumstances. So most people want to lose fat, and by understanding your macros and fitting your macros accordingly, that is how you can ensure that you are going to lose fat. So we want to see, we've all seen those before and afters of people before that they might weigh the same weight, but their body composition looks very different. When we are losing weight, we want to make sure that it is coming from fat. And that, you know, like as I explained before, I'd lost 5 kilos, but when I lost that 5 kilos, I lost 3 kilos of muscle. So I was better off weighing 75 than what I was when I weighed 70. So have you considered that believing that there is a perfect diet out there that we're waiting for this perfect diet out there and that it's just something that you haven't found yet, leads you to thinking that the grass is always greener on the other side. So this is what the balanced macro would understand. That it's not about jumping from plan to plan. It's about understanding the tools and how to make them work for you. So you can fit in the fun stuff, because we all need the fun stuff, and you can make it work within your lifestyle. And so then you can be successful, and you can take this everywhere you go. And there's no right or wrong. It's understanding. So the second myth that I'm going to go through today is that to lose weight, in order to lose weight, we just need to eat less calories. So we need to start eating less and less and less in order to lose weight. And if we eat less, then that is how we're going to lose weight. And so many of us have been fed this lie over the years, and it is something that I know a lot of people struggle with, because they feel like there's no way that, that they need to eat less in order to lose weight. And it is such a losing strategy. It is a strategy that does not work. Again, if you have a body composition scan, most people are quite shocked what their BMR is. And this is something that we do to get you to understand what your basal metabolic rate is. And that is how much calories you need for your body to function optimally if you were just laying on a bed all day and not moving. And most people are blown away by how much more calories that is. Mine is about 1900. So your muscle mass and all that depends on it. So the thing is as well, but if we ate 0 calories, so if eating less calories is the most fastest way to get a result, why don't we just eat nothing? So if we eat 0 calories, then wouldn't you get a faster result? What would happen to you if you ate nothing? You would die. So if we actually ate nothing, then we were dying. So how is that an effective weight loss strategy? So if eating less and less was the answer, then when we're eating 0 calories, wouldn't that get you the very best possible results? You would think it would, but it wouldn't. If we eat nothing, you are going to die. And so we want to understand that there's this balance between fueling our body and creating a calorie deficit. And you want to start to learn to create a calorie deficit and fuel your body really, really well. And this is this sweet spot. This is the sweet spot that we're looking for, that we all want to find, so we feel good about ourselves. You want to be a deficit of calories so they're low enough in order to lose weight, but the macronutrients are high enough in order for the weight to come from fat and maintain your muscle. And this sweet spot is unique to you. You can't just be given it, and you can't copy someone else's. It needs to be customized to you, your situation, and where you're at, and your past, where you've been, what you've done previously. You can't just come in and copy someone else's and think that will work for you, or just get someone else's cookie cutter plan and just follow that, because it hasn't taken you into account. And so this is what we do in my programs. We look at all of those things. We look at finding where you've been, where you're at, and make it work for you. So when looking to live a healthier and fitter life, we want to understand how to balance our food out and to make it stick. There is all these myths and things that we've been told in the past that we feel that we end up becoming our beliefs, and they are the things that we think are the only way that it has to happen in order for us to lose weight. And it's not necessarily true. These are these things that we've been fed from social media, from our families. It's crazy to think from media over the times. We've been fed all these things, and we think that this is how it should be, and it isn't. You need to have a plan that is customized to you and your situation, and that is the most effective way to have weight loss and for it to stay off. By looking at customizing your food, looking at your habits and your lifestyle and creating new habits that you can stick to and work to, is how you are going to get long-term weight loss. Because again, you think about anything that you've done in the past, you might have got a result, but long-term, did you get that initial result? And then were you the yo-yo dieter who got a result, but then you tended to put the weight back on plus more? Because that is not effective weight loss. And if you've done anything and you're now in a position where if you're now in a position where you've put the weight or that back on, then that diet did not work. So we need to find something that is realistic for you. Realistic for you, and it is something that you will stick to forever.